Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another edition of Wildcats Weekly here at West 11 Sports Media. I'm Cody West, and we're joined by Keith Logan. Keith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Well, the Wildcats and Lady Cats spring sports are in full swing, starting to see some of it wind down now as the playoffs are beginning. And then, of course, regional meets, state meets are starting to take place. And the Wildcats and Lady Cats, of course, have been very, very active. And you and I get together once a week and recap the previous week at Littlefield High School as far as sports go. And I want to start things off today with the track teams. Of course, they went to the area track and field championships last week in Tulia. And what they did is several years ago, if you're not familiar with the track format, of course, you have your district and you compete in district track. And then you would go to regionals if you qualified, but they added one in there, an extra track meet between district and regionals, and it's called the area meet, and it's more kind of like a bi-district if you were in other sports. So District 1-3A and District 2-3A met up for the area meet in Tulia, and then they took the top four places in every event to the regional track meet, which will be held on April 29th and 30th at Abilene Christian University. So that was the area meet in Tulia last week, and the Wildcats did qualify one person for regionals. The Lady Cats qualified several, and you and I have been talking about our track team, especially on the girls' side. We've got some very talented girls, and not only district champions now, but area champions.
Yeah, and it definitely, have a great opportunity to move forward. In the next track meet, this regional, we have a high probability that some people will be able to move on to the state tournament.
And that's one of the things about track is you can compare times. You can, in the field events, you can compare distances on like discus and shot put and long jump. So a lot of times you can kind of get an idea of where you stand in not only your district, area, and region, but also in the state of Texas. It's one of those things where there's always going to be some fluctuation. But for the most part, if you perform at your best and you continue to get better and you're competitive on the state level, then all you have to do is go out there and do your thing and then hopefully punch your ticket to not only regionals but to state as well. And that's one of the things I really like about track and field. And I was the other day comparing some times from our kids to other kids in the region, and it looks like, at least on the girls' side, like you said, we've got a very high probability that we'll send some track athletes to state.
Yeah, definitely. Track is competed as a team, but then also at the same time, you can kind of see exactly where you stand individually, and you can kind of see where your times are, and like you said, where they rank out in the state, and then also across the whole United States.
That's exactly right. Let's take a look at the regional qualifiers for Littlefield High School. For the Lady Cats, Kaylee Edgman won the area championship in the discus with a throw of 129 feet and 4 inches. Now, she's still, I believe, a couple of feet short of what she threw at state last year, but getting closer. She threw better at area than she did at district, and we're expecting her to improve on that at regionals. But Kaylee Edgman won the discus with 129 feet, 4 inches. Any comments on Kaylee Edgman and the discus throw?
I'm sure, I don't want to punch a ticket too fast, but I don't see no reason why she shouldn't make it to the state track meet again.
Yes, sir, and she was way ahead of the second-place finisher there at area. LaTanya Jones is real fast. She can also jump far. She won the area championship in the long jump with a leap of 17 feet, 7 inches. That's a first-place finish in the long jump. She also won the area championship in the 100-meter dash with a time of 12.25 seconds. LaTanya Jones, she took home the gold medal in 2 events.
Wow. I mean, it just shows the caliber of athlete that Littlefield has, and also the coaching staff, coaching them up and letting them perform at the peak.
Yes, sir. And Deanna Smith, she won the 200-meter dash with a time of 26.01 seconds. So it was a sweep for the Lady Cats in the sprints. LaTanya Jones wins the 100. Deanna Smith wins the 200 at the area meet. And then one may have been not really a dark horse, but a surprise first-place finish. We knew she was going to be right there near the top, but Courtney Reed wins the area championship in the 800 meters. She came in with a time of 2 minutes, 36 seconds flat. And Courtney Reed, congratulations there on the area championship.
Yeah, I mean, she's been getting better and better. I know she runs cross country and some other sports, so I'm sure she's definitely starting to peak, starting to get her wind underneath her, just starting to really perform well on the track.
Yes, sir. Other runners that finished in the top 4 at the area meet and will be going on to regionals. De'Erica Smith came in 4th place in the triple jump with a distance of 33 feet, 5 3/4 inches. The Lady Cats 4x100 meter relay finished in 2nd place with a time of 50.07 seconds, and the 4x200 meter relay also came in 2nd place with a time of 1 minute 44.70 seconds. They'll all be going to the girls' regional track meet. For the boys, Antoine Griggs finished in 3rd place in the 100 meter dash with a time of 11.33 seconds. Now, he was our district champ. He finishes 3rd at area. But the thing about that 100 meter dash, you've got 6 or 8 kids, and they're all within a fraction of a second of each other. Those sprints can go anyway.
Yeah, and a lot of times, it's won or lost basically on your start. If you get a good start on the 100, for the most part, you should win the race. But I'm sure that he's going to be working with his coaching staff because, on the boys' side, they only have to work with one athlete. So, I'm sure he's going to get better and hopefully improve on his time and possibly, punch his ticket to the state.
Yes, sir. So Griggs will be going to the regional track meet as the only boy from Littlefield High School competing. Again, that will be on April the 29th and 30th at Abilene Christian University. It's the Region 1-3A UIL Track and Field Championships, and we send all the best to all of the Littlefield High School athletes competing at regionals. Another team that continues to win is the Littlefield Wildcats baseball team. Now, we, of course, went on a little 3-game losing streak during the middle of district play, but the Wildcats have now won 3 games in a row and look to be back to the way that we expect them to play and the way they can play. Since the last time we talked, of course, they beat Hawley in non-district play, and then they beat the Dimmitt Bobcats by a final score of 8-1. Had to turn around the very next day, travel to Friona, and try to get that monkey off their back, a team that beat us twice last year in district, a team that beat us this year the first time we met up, and the Wildcats played very well, winning that game. We had just an all-around team performance. Littlefield Wildcats were able to beat Friona. Now we're on a 3-game winning streak going into the final game against Shallow-Water. So the Wildcats, does it kind of feel like last year when we all started kind of getting that little momentum going headed into the playoffs?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we're starting to get our, it took a little while. We kind of, like you said, we went into that 3-game losing streak, and it was kind of tough on the guys, and I'm sure that, they weren't having fun. But I'm sure some of the seniors had, a team meeting, kind of brought it, kind of refocused everybody. And the last few games that I've seen, that they definitely look like they're having fun. Everybody is engaged, and that's what you need right now, is getting everybody engaged. Even if you're on the bench, you basically, clapping, doing all the little things to kind of keep your team hyped and keep your team excited about playing. And there's a lot more smiles now. Obviously, with winning, it brings a lot more smiles. But it looked like they're definitely enjoying each other's company.
And that's what it's all about. I think sometimes we forget that it's supposed to be fun. Sports are fun, and when you're having fun, a lot of times that turns into success. And I know through that 3-game losing streak, it just didn't look like our kids were having much fun. But in Friona on Friday, to me, it really did look like the Wildcats were having fun out there. And that's something that I saw in the playoffs last year. As we made that run to the state tournament, our kids were out there having a good time. And it seems like once you get that pressure in the back of your mind and you just go out there and play the game that they've been playing since T-ball, it all brings it back, and they're all capable of doing very well. And, again, beating Friona, I think, will give these guys a lot of confidence headed into the Shallow-Water game and then, of course, into the playoffs. Now, the Wildcats have clinched a playoff spot. We're tied for second place with Friona. Shallow-Water has won the district championship already. Coach McNeese was telling me if things play out to a tie for second place, there could be a seeding game to determine playoff seeding between Littlefield and Friona, but then you got to throw Muleshoe in that mix too. So anything could happen over the next few days as the season begins to wind down in baseball, but the playoffs are right on our doorstep, and it's going to be a fun time.
What we have to do is just take care of business on Tuesday, basically kind of ruin the undefeated streak in district for Shallow-Water, and great opportunity to kind of give them a loss in the season and kind of build back your confidence and, know that you can play against anybody. And I feel that if we come out strong and we play our game, that we can hang with anybody in the state. So we just got to believe in ourselves and take it one pitch at a time, and don't get too wrapped up in the hype, so to speak, with playing a top ranked team.
Yes, sir, and that's baseball. Of course, we're recording this early in the week, but on Tuesday, the Wildcats will host the Shallow Water Mustangs at 7:00. That's Tuesday, April 26th. We will have the play-by-play broadcast here at west11sports.com. But we're hoping for a big crowd. We want it to be a playoff-type atmosphere, a rowdy atmosphere at Wildcats Field.
Yes, and also it's senior night. I mean, a lot of these seniors that you've seen around the community, this is going to be their last time playing in Wildcat Stadium possibly, unless somehow we're able to get a playoff game here. But other than that, this is going to be the last time they'll play in their stadium.
Yes, sir. So hopefully we'll have a big crowd. If you can't make it out to the field, be sure and tune into the broadcast here at West 11 Sports. And finally, Keith, the Littlefield Lady Cats are playoff bound. They'll have a playoff series coming up this Friday and Saturday in Hereford. We'll be there with a broadcast as well. Tell us about the Lady Cats.
Well, I'm very excited to see, Coach Clark, as far as the game plan, she's been able to, have a couple of days off and kind of build up a game plan, do probably a little research on the team that you're going to play. And I'm sure we're going to, give our best effort and possibly make a run here in the playoffs.
And the Lady Cats will be playing Sanford Fritch, I believe, in that by-district championship, best 2 out of 3 series. First game will be at 4:30 p.m. on Friday. The second game of the series will be at 12 noon on Saturday. And then the third game, if necessary, would be 30 minutes after game number 2. Again, that will be in Hereford this coming Friday and Saturday. You and I will be there with a play-by-play broadcast here at west11sports.com. So there's a quick little recap, not all that quick.
But at the same time,
a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. And once again, we don't mind talking about Littlefield Wildcat sports and the athletes and the student athletes that are doing great things beyond just Lamb County.
Yes, sir. And hopefully we'll get to do this again next week and talk about some very exciting victories for baseball and softball, and also talk about those kids that may be moving on to the state track meet as well. So it's going to be a busy time, but it will be a fun time. It's a great time of year as you get ready to wind the school year down. A lot of sporting events taking place, and we're very excited to cover it all here at West 11 Sports. We do want to remind you we have a mobile app. If you don't have it, go to the Play Store or your app store and download West 11 Sports. You can listen to the games, listen to this podcast, and much more with our mobile app available for free in your app store. And be sure and spread the word. Tell everybody you can hear us here at west11sports.com. If you like to listen to the games, Littlefield Wildcats and Lady Cats games, we've got all the play-by-play action as we follow the boys through the playoffs and the girls coming up this spring. Anything else, Keith?
Nope.
All right. We hope everybody out there has a great week. Be sure and log on next week for more Wildcats Weekly here at west11sports.com.